So I'm going to talk a little bit about social innovation, sustainability, and its characteristics, and how it fits within the Dell Social Innovation Competition. So when we talk about social innovation and philanthropy, the term sustainability kind of gets lost in the fold. And it's because it means so many different things to so many different people. But using different brands of that term can actually go a long way when we're talking about social change, especially with the help of the Dell Social Innovation Competition. So when we're talking about this term sustainability and philanthropy, there's so many different ways to look at it. So when we're talking about environmentalists, for example, we're looking at sustainability of the Earth's resources. When we're talking about CEOs, former CEOs, we're talking about sustainability of the workforce, long-term product development. And then those in the nonprofit world, they want sustainability in the solution for the cause that they're working for. But then there's an entirely different group of people that are looking at sustainability at the intersection of social innovation and social entrepreneurship. So what is this thing called social innovation, and what's the difference between a social innovation and an improvement? So social innovation refers to a new idea that calls for looking at challenges to social and environmental problems. And when we're talking about social innovation, the way it differs from an improvement is we're not just looking at one static change. We're looking at an ideation process that comes from understanding the problem in a holistic view. So one is, who's responsible for social innovation? And two, how do we put it into practice? So when we're looking at social entrepreneurs, we're looking at people who seize an opportunity that others may have missed. So for example, Muhammad Yunus, he felt that nonprofits had an inadequate response to looking at various social problems. Bill Gates looked at it another way. He felt that there needed to be a better system of getting innovators and getting large businesses together to eradicate various public health problems. And Bill Clinton, he wanted a better dialogue. He wanted a better dialogue of looking at sustainable social solutions, not just for a change, but for making change the new goal for the future. So one, when we're looking at sustainability and social change, we know that social change is innovative and that it has to be scalable. So we're not looking at one change, and it has to be financially secure. All of these things are pieces to sustainability, and this is where the Dell Social Innovation Competition comes in. So for the past 5 years, the Dell Social Innovation Competition is housed in the RGK Center for Philanthropy and Community Service, has been helping various social innovators, i.e. students, to get their ideas and innovations off the ground. So the idea here is that students would come up with a business or a venture plan. They would then submit that with the hopes of getting their plan off the ground to look at a pressing social problem. So the competition has actually evolved over the last 5 years. There's, at this point, over $100,000 versus in price and cash prizes. There's various mentorships and advice as you go on through the competition. Now, how do you put this social innovation into practice? So we're going to look at an example of an alumnus of the Dell Social Innovation Competition, and we'll look at rural electrification in India. So when it comes to rural electrification, it's more of a necessity than an option at this point, right? The conventional technologies and the power grid has completely failed these areas to get the power that they need. So I bring you rice husks. So rice husks are the most forsaken waste, probably, for rural farmers in India, right? They're thrown away and they end up in landfills. Bihar, a state in India, alone is responsible for 4 billion pounds of rice husk waste. So after looking at years of technology under the right economic model, husk power systems realized that this waste was the solution, not only because it was environmentally sustainable, so they're decreasing the waste, but it's also financially sustainable. So the innovation here is they took this rice husk waste, turned it into biofuel, and fueled these mini power plants so that they can provide affordable power to these rural homes. So taking this available waste and looking at these power shortages in these villages, putting that together was the solution to a really, really large-scale problem. So the question here is, what does this all mean? So what it means is entrepreneurial vision isn't just about a good idea. Entrepreneurial vision actually takes individuals or a group of individuals to use their skill sets, their perspectives, and looking at tackling a long-term or a large-scale problem. Now, this could be anything from the Macomb School to the Jackson School. The EVS program is going to be perfect for this. The Butler School of Music, it doesn't matter. Getting students involved in social change problems and bringing their skill sets and perspectives actually goes a long way towards providing a sustainable solution. And Dell Social Innovation Competition can help foster those ideas to get those solutions off the ground and even get some better mentorship. Thanks.